Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the last accountability session of 2021. Special welcome to Graham Vigor, the Director General of the National Crime Agency. And thank you both Graham and Chief Constable for your reports in respect of tackling serious and organised crime. There have been a number of significant successes. Before we hear more about that, I'd just like to record appreciation to the team of detectives who worked on the conviction of Stephen McKinney for the murder of Lou Na. Particularly struck by the judge's comments on the tenacity of the police investigation and the work of one female detective who has since sadly died in service. Our thoughts are with all families who have lost loved ones. The statistic that there are more domestic violence killing per capita than anywhere else in Europe is shocking. We note from your report, PSNI are on track to launch the first police strategy around intimidation and violence against women and girls. We know that gender violence needs more than a police response. We very much support the 16 days of action to raise awareness, but sadly, gender-based violence is an every day of every year issue, and the figures are of concern. Chief Constable, following discussions at the November meeting around the police approach to handling complaints of inappropriate behaviour, your report today responds to a number of issues raised by the board during discussions and in follow-up correspondence of the prevailing organisational culture, the efficacy of policies and procedures for reporting and dealing with such complaints. A briefing is scheduled for the board's performance committee in January to scrutinise this issue in more detail, but there were some further questions today. This time last year, the board had just published the review report on the policing of COVID-19 regulations. We were hopeful that 2021 would bring the end of restrictions and the need for further enforcement activity. Unfortunately, in light of recent developments, we have discussed today current issues for policing and revisiting some of the issues in our report that emerged around the regulations, public guidance and enforcement. We're fully supportive of the need to protect public health. But from the outset of the pandemic, the board has supported the position that any enforcement should not solely lie with the PSNI, but other agencies should share that responsibility. There is provision for this within the regulations, and I've again written to the Health Minister emphasising this, along with the need for continued consultation with the PSNI on any statutory changes being made so that all policing implications can be considered and managed and clear guidance on rules and responsibility issued. So we will have further questions also around that today. I'm going to hand over now, Chief Constable, for your opening remarks, and then we'll come to the Director General for his opening remarks. So, Simon.